You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Oh no. No, Junkman. Don't tell me you're drinking and recording again.
Yes. And I ain't gonna have no dolls talk to me either. The saga's over. Disney did it. They made the greatest saga of all times. Or did they fuck up the greatest saga of all times? Before we get started with this rant, let me say that, being completely honest here, not saying any of this for clicks or views, or to get hate, or to get likes. Just need to get the saga off my mind. Well, trilogy, I should say. The trilogy, I should. That's hard to say. The trilogy, I should say. Because I have a lot to say about it. And I'm tired of talking about it. It's a new decade. It's a new year. And the new trilogy's over. It's time to move on. There's a lot I love about it, and there's a lot I hate about it. There's a lot that I hate about you all. And there's a lot I love. And when I say you all, I don't mean everyone. 90% of you are great guys, or gals, or great days, or Zeus, or whatever they want to be called. No problem with them people. So let's get into it. Let's look at the saga now that I keep saying saga. Let's look at the trilogy now that it's complete. This is going to be a wild ride. Let's be honest. First up, anyone that follows me on Twitter, watches my videos, watches me on YouTube, you know how I feel about the new saga. Trilogy. I like it. I love The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens might be the best movie I've seen in my adult life. Now, I don't mean the best movie I've seen in my adult life. I know that's what I said. But it's probably the best blockbuster, kid-feeling movie. A movie that made me feel young again watching. And it's not a remake. Stop with that bullshit. It's not a remake. If it's a remake, then who's Han Solo's character in the first movie? Sure, they repeat similar themes. But no, people hear it on Reddit or YouTube. It's a remake. So they just keep sputting the same thing out over and over. It's not a remake. It's not. It's got similar beats. Yes, it does got similar beats. But that's a lot of movies. You tell me Indiana Jones movies don't have similar beats? You tell me You tell me Last Crusade isn't anything like Raiders? All the Indiana Jones movies should have they start off with a tiny adventure that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie, unless you're talking Crystal Skull, but that's a whole nother video. And I'm going to need a lot more Jim Beam if we're going to talk about the Crystal Skull. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it. Let's get into the movie. I like the new movies. I loved The Force Awakens. I liked The Last Jedi. And I liked Rise of Skywalker. Now, with all that out of the way, I've got something I have to say, and this is coming from the bottom of my heart. And I mean it 100%. Lucasfilm, you fucked it up. You did. And I know I don't supposed to be cursing and all that. I'm going to lose my ad money. Ooh, I'm not going to make 72 cents off this video. I don't care. I don't care about your 72 cents, YouTube. You can keep it. Disney, Lucas, Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, and anyone else that approved anything in these movies fucked it up. They did. There. I said it. And this is coming from a guy that liked the movies. Not only did you give us an okay Star Wars trilogy, you helped screw up the fan base. Now, don't get me wrong. Fans hated Star Wars from the beginning. Well, not the beginning. What am I talking about? They hated it from the prequels. There, it seemed like it was about 90% of us hated the prequels. But now, it seems like everybody loves them. But back then, we all kind of agreed they were a letdown. At least people like us that waited 16 years for them and thought about these movies for 16 years couldn't wait to see them. So it wasn't divided. Sure, a lot of us didn't like them or hated them, but overall, we enjoyed them. But overall, we all agree that they were okay or bad. So there was no real decision. So there was really no divide. You could go, but the best thing then, you could go on a Star Wars message board. You could talk about the prequels, and everyone there knew that what they were okay at best. But no, did we fuss about it? No. When I went to the Force.net and I saw Wampa611 saying how much he didn't like the prequel, did I get angry? Did I? Did I get toxic and call him a sexist and a racist because he didn't like the Phantom Menace? Did I say he was sexist because he didn't like Padme? Or did I say he was sexist because Natalie Portman showed her belly button? It's the best part of Attack of the Clones, I tell you. Not really like Attack of the Clones. Better than the Phantom Menace. But the Phantom Menace, or whatever they call themselves, gets called racist and sexist. And they're not. I know a lot of those guys out there. I've talked to a lot of them. From Ichibaka. I love Ichibaka. He's a good, personal, online friend. I like you, Ichibaka. You're pretty cool. Although I wonder if you got your name from my Larry the Wampa character. Not Larry the Wampa. What's his name? Itchy. Lumpy. I call him Lumpy Baka, so I was wondering if that's where you got that from. But not a big stretch. Anyway, I love that guy, and I'm forgetting names. And there's other ones out there in the part of the Phantom Menace. But for every 10 cool Phantom Menace people, there's assholes in that group like Jeremy. Yeah, Geeks the gamer kid. He is an asshole. I know he says I'm pathetic. Yeah, I know, I'm pathetic. I'm miserable. I'm pathetic. I complain too much. Jeremy, Geek the Gamer Kid, told me on Twitter that I'm pathetic and miserable or something and complain too much. The guy that makes daily videos of how much he hates Star Wars. Give it a rest, Jeremy. Then you got the people like the world-class bullshitters who I thought was a parody account for months. What do? They go into a Toys R Us to prove that Star Wars toys aren't selling. Now, Toys R Us, a company that went out of business because nobody was going there because they sold overpriced toys. That's some big proof. And yes, they throw it in your face all the time. The toys aren't selling. But they're always just talking about Hasbro, aren't they? You notice that? They're always just talking Hasbro. Because Hasbro sucks. For the last 10 years or more, Hasbro sucks. When they do come out with figures you want, you can't find them. Look at the retro figures. Target got 1 or 2 case each. But I did a whole rant about Hasbro. Sure, kids aren't buying action figures as much as they used to. We get it. Move on. We got that. But the sale of Star Wars toys from Hasbro, you can't blame Disney for that. You blame Hasbro. That's where the buck stops for me, because Hasbro has ticked off collectors, kids, everybody, even store personnel. So, I don't know. So the Phantom Menace, most of you guys are great. And what I love about the Phantom Menace is I can joke with you guys on Twitter. I do it all the time. I know people's gonna say, Junkman, you're trolling. Where's that a bad word? Trolling. But most people don't even know what it means. You know that? Go on Twitter or Facebook or whatever you use. Most people don't. If you just disagree with somebody, they call you a troll. It don't mean you're trolling just because you disagree. Trolling is when you say something to be an asshole or just to start a conversation. I do that a lot on Twitter. I'll say something stupid, and I'll just sit back and I'll read the comments. I will. And I get a joy out of it. Is it childish? Yes, but so is social media. It's all childish. And I can admit it. Look at me. I'm surrounded by freaking toys. Of course I'm childish. I'm 47 years old and I'm drinking out of a Chewbacca Boba Fett shot glass, talking to a little camera. That doesn't equal childish. That doesn't equal childish. I don't know what does. So yeah, I like to give the Phantom Menace a hard time. You know why? Because you guys can take it. There's a whole nother group of people, I don't know what you call them, Reylos, social justice warriors. You got people like the Wards, you know who I'm talking about if you're online, who think they're the Star Wars police. You make a racist joke or what they assume is a racist joke and they ask you to be banned off Twitter. Just because you said the Rancor looked like he had a towel on his head. And it does. But you know what's different between the Reylo folks or the social justice warrior folks or the Phantom Menace folks? The Phantom Menace, for the most part, unless his name is Jeremy, that guy cannot take a joke at all. 98% of you can take a joke. You laugh along with me. I say something stupid on Twitter like Rey is the greatest Star Wars hero of all times, and you guys with the Phantom Menace, y'all laugh about it and retweet it and say, look at this guy, an idiot, and we all have a good time. I tweet out that I found Rose to be one of the most boring characters in Star Wars, and I get told to go jump I get told to die. I get blocked. There's only two kind of people in this world that block people. Safe spacers and data racers. Safe spacers are those that need a safe space because they don't want to hear any other opinions. And another one's a data racer, is a guy on Twitter I don't even know, but he's banned me on every account I got. And I got 2 accounts. One, I just talk about toys. Kinder Toys. I don't even talk to the Phantom Menace on there. And you know what? He blocked me on that one too. I don't even know the guy. I don't care that he blocked me. Don't get me wrong. I really don't give a if he blocked me or not. I don't. But he, or ones like him in the Phantom Menace, are the ones that's always saying the social justice warriors are the one that blocks people. They need their safe space. But I don't really see much of a difference between the Phantom Menace and the social justice warrior people. They just bitch about different things. But at the end of the day, the uncool ones are just crybaby bitches. But I'm not here to talk about the Phantom Menace. I'm not here to talk about the Reylos. I'm not here to talk about the social justice hippies or whatever they're called now. I'm talking the movies. Let's get on it. Let's get on it. First problem I have. It's going to be a long nighter. Should have put on some E.T. J.J. Abrams. I really like J.J. Abrams. I really like it. I love the Star Trek movies. And I'm a big Next Generation fan. I love the Star Trek movies. Star Trek, even Into Darkness. Captain Foley, I do like Into Darkness. I don't care. I like it. Captain Foley is a really cool dude. Check out Trek Yards. But even like that last Star Trek. But anyway, I love the Star Trek movies. Sure, they're not Star Trek. in the essential sense, but they're better than that Discovery crap. But yeah, for a movie, if you just take out Star Trek and just watch them, they're really, really good movies. I like the Star Trek movies. What else has Abrams done? What else has he done? Superbad. No, he didn't do Superbad. Super Train. No, what was that? Super 8. I love Super 8. Yeah, it kind of falls apart near the end, but who cares? I like it. Again, I don't have to sit there and just some movies I just need to watch for 2 hours or whatever they are and watch it. You know, and I don't think nothing else about it when it goes off, and I enjoyed my time watching it, and I liked it. And I liked Super 8. I don't think them were the only movies I saw by him. I think he did one of the Mission Impossible movies with Pam Grier, I think. But I don't know. I liked Lost the first couple of seasons, and he left after, season 2 or season 3. So I don't have any problem. In fact, one of my favorite movies is regarding Henry, a movie that Abrams wrote back when he was first starting out, starring Harrison Ford. And I tell you, I love that movie. Give this man some red crackers! What am I talking about? Now, what's my problem with Abrams? One, I think he did a fantastic job with the movie that he wanted to make with The Force Awakens. My problem is, get to that in a second. My problem is that he was hired to make The Force Awakens. And it wasn't exactly that he was hired. Even when there was talk about who they're going to get, my first thought was, you got to get Abrams. He was the hot ticket in town. He just rebooted Star Trek. Everybody loved it. Well, most people loved it, not Captain Foley, but some other people liked it. Overall, it was very well received. And I think even Captain Foley has said that it's an okay movie, just not his liking for a Star Trek film. If I quoted you wrong there, Captain Foley, I do apologize. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, so why do I get upset that they even hired J.J. Abrams? Right? If I like the movies, why I should be excited. Here's the problem, because they all said it. Kennedy said it. I think Abrams talked about it also. They went to him to get him to direct The Force Awakens, and he turned it down. He didn't want to do it. And they had to come back and talk to him again. Now the story goes something about Kennedy said, what do you think happened to Luke Skywalker? And he said, oh, I've got to make this movie now. I've got to tell people what happened to Luke Skywalker. And he didn't even put Luke Skywalker in his damn movie. But what really got him to come back, let's be honest, is that Kennedy called him back for a meeting and threw some more money in his face and probably gave him a deal where he gets producer credit and gets the bad robots involved and all that. So he took it. And that right there should have been the first sign of problems from all of us. We all should have got worried that second. Why? Because you don't hire somebody to make a Star Wars movie by forcing them to do it or just paying them enough money to do it. You find somebody that loves Star Wars content. You find somebody that wants to make that Star Wars film, that when you call them up on the phone and you say, do you want to make a Star? They say, hell yeah, before you even get through saying wars. And I said long ago, get Jon Favreau, and I'm glad to see people are finally starting to get on the Jon Favreau train with me, thanks to The Mandalorian. I love Jon Favreau ever since Swingers. So that's the problem right there. How can you expect the Star Wars I think we all deserved when you're just giving it to somebody that felt like he was being forced to do it? Or he was just doing it for the money? Or doing it... I'm not saying J.J. Abrams doesn't love Star Wars. I'm just saying if you're going to start off a new trilogy, get somebody that loves it, that knows it. Now, you don't have to know the whole EU, and don't even get me started on the whiners and the crybabies about what's canon and not canon, and how the EU ain't canon anymore. The EU was never canon, at least according to George Lucas, and he's the god of Star Wars. If God comes down and tells me that this isn't canon, it's not canon. And if Lucas tells me that the EU isn't canon, it's not canon. So don't give me all that crap about the EU was canon and Disney destroyed it. No, they didn't. And what else would Disney do? They have all these movies and books and stuff that 90% of the people don't know. And they're going to bring back the new movies and expect people to be caught up. No Chewbacca? You really want them to bring back Star Wars with no Chewbacca? And then just kind of explain in the movie to the people that don't read the EU that he got hit by a moon? You think the movies are bad now? Try making these movies keeping that EU in canon that was all screwed up as it was. And what was canon? You got stuff in the 90s that didn't go anywhere near the Marvel stuff back in the early 80s. They didn't match up. So how do you say that was canon? But that was just, Anyway, you don't hire J.J. Abrams when he doesn't want to make Star Wars. You don't. And that's the problem. Can't you see that? Kathleen Kennedy is very bad at hiring directors. Let's go through the list. Well, let's not. We've done them. J.J. Abrams didn't want to do it. Had to force him to do it. Had to force him, or by force I mean pay him a shitload of money twice to get him back in the Star Wars seat. Rogue One director was almost fired and replaced during some reshoots. Don't even get me started on that whole Han Solo with the twin brothers directing thing. Then there was the rumored Boba Fett movie, and that guy gone. And then there was that Jurassic dork dude. He was going to make a Star Wars movie. The only one they hadn't had a problem with at all was Rian Johnson. And let me tell you the problem with Rian Johnson. Nothing. Rian Johnson is a great writer. Now, I'm not saying The Last Jedi is the greatest written Star Wars movie ever. Don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying is, stop going off there. Here's what I'm saying. What am I saying? Oh, here's what I'm saying about the problem with Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson is a great director, but he is an independent director, or that type. Now, there's directors that can make independent movies and then make big blockbusters. I've seen it done a lot, and seen it done greatly. And then there's some independent directors that their job is they're just more art housey or more independent types with the story and everything else, where they want to do something that's gonna get emotion in the audience. With Star Wars, you don't want that. Sure, you want the audience to love it and to be engaged in the film, but you don't want them. You want them debating the movie, sure, but you don't want them fighting with each other. Or, that's not Luke Skywalker. That is Luke Skywalker. That's not Luke Skywalker. You don't want that. But that's what you get when you hire an independent director like Rian Johnson. He gave you what he's good at. And if you watch that Star Wars, if you watch The Last Jedi, take out that Casino Planet bullshit, you take all that out, and you don't know Star Wars, and you watch that movie, it's a good movie. I don't care what you say. I know, but there are ships chasing each other, because I heard some guy on YouTube tell me that, and I didn't even notice it when I first went to see it. But it's true. He was a director. He was an art house type independent director. Look at the stuff he's done in the past. Sure, he's done some budget movies like Looper, but there's no big blockbuster like Star Wars. That's another problem right there I have with Kathleen Kennedy. Why are you hiring these directors to have 2 or 3 movies under their belt? I mean, really? You're going to get Star Wars? Now, J.J. Abrams, I can see. He had a lot of movies under his belt, or he was still coming up. He did Mission Impossible. He was the reboot guy. So I understand why you want J.J. Abrams. And anyway, Steven Spielberg told you to hire him. Steven Spielberg said if you're going to hire, that you need Abrams. And I get that. I get why they hired him. But the moment he said, I don't know if I want to do that, he should have said, okay, see you, J.J. Abrams. Let's go talk to Jon Favreau. Besides, if you hire Jon Favreau, you get some good cooking on the side. Have you seen him cook some of those grilled cheese sandwiches? Shit. If I had Disney money, I'd pay him $1 million just to fix me one of them damn sandwiches. But they hired Rian Johnson to make the movie that Rian Johnson's gonna make. So I'm not gonna sit here and yell at Rian Johnson. Now I see a lot of Phantom Menace people call him Roundhead, Ruin Johnson. They will call this guy every name in the book. As soon as he calls one of them, or two of them, or even 10 of them a crybaby, they get all upset. He's toxic. Lucasfilm employees shouldn't say that to people. Well, you get on your social media account and you call somebody a roundhead, tell them they ruined Star Wars, and then you get upset because they say something back mean also. If you say something mean, expect to get something mean said back. And I'm not even getting started on Kathleen Kennedy wore a Nike shirt to an all-girls school film festival, and the internet blew up. This video is going to be long. Where was that? So you hired Rian Johnson, and you got the movie that you hired Rian Johnson to make. So don't get pissed off at Rian. Oh, I guess Disney's not pissed off at Rian Johnson. But don't blame Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson did what he does when he makes movies. Now, I apologize that I don't know, ever since The Force Awakens, I have said, Disney's got a plan. They're not making these movies without a plan. Then I saw Rise of Skywalker, which I liked. Disney didn't have a plan. That's my biggest problem. Now, hold up. Before you say, well, George Lucas didn't have a plan when he made Star Wars, you think he knew Darth Vader was Luke's father? You think he knew Leia and Luke was sister and brother? There's a good quote by George Lucas, and I don't remember who he said it to, but he gave a young film director some what do you call it? It's late, guys. What do you call it? I had to edit this out. What? Some advice. Why could I not think of that word? Some advice. And what was that advice he gave him? Make the movies and act like you had a plan all along, even if you didn't. Say you did. Now, did Lucasfilm say they had a plan all along? I don't think they came out right and said it, but they surely hinted. Oh, we always thought to have Palpatine in it, which I don't think is a lie. I think when Abrams was making it, he probably said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Palpatine came back to life at the end? And they said, okay. Hey, we talked about it. We had a plan. Even when Lucas did the prequels, there was really no plan. He knew that Anakin had to turn bad, and he knew how the movie would end. He didn't know how he would get there. That's obvious when you watch the prequels. At least they don't feel like a plan to me. But they got more of a plan than these new movies. And I think Lucasfilm or Disney, Kathleen Kennedy, whoever could have avoided all this if they did something I said they should have done back before I even saw The Force Awakens. Drop the episode number. Do The Force Awakens as a new film that takes place in that universe. There was no reason to add episode 7. Well, they figured it would get more buzz in the seats, I guess. And it probably did do that. But it doesn't feel like a whole story anymore. Although not really planned out. And there's some plot holes or some messing around you have to do to get everything to fit in part of the puzzle. But episode 1 through 6 was what we needed. The rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker. Although at the time we didn't know when we watched the originals, they were the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker. But that's what we got. And we got the 3 sets of movies. You're not going to go through all that. You know what the movies are. But what do you got in this new movie? If you sit down and watch episode 1 through 9, what do you get? Anakin turns bad. The Empire takes over. The Jedis die. A Jedi's new hope is born. Son grows up, saves his father. The Empire falls. Palpatine goes away. and you got this girl who's maybe related to somebody, may not be related to somebody. It just doesn't fit in. And if you drop that whole episode number, you lose all that. You do. You lose all that. I mean, that gripe of it doesn't feel like part of the saga goes away. That's all you needed to do. And that's the way, I think that's why I like these movies more than some, because that's how I see them. I don't let that little number fool me. Okay? I don't let that number 7, 8, and 9 fool me into thinking, oh, I'm watching the Star Wars saga, because I'm not. I like the movies, but they're not part of the saga. Not to me. No. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't know Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, does she like Star Wars? Sure. Do you think she could tell you Emperor's first name? Do you think she could tell you Padme's middle name? Do you think Kathleen Kennedy knows much about Star Wars other than what the normal people know? Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Vader, Father, Jedi, Sith. Do you think Kathleen Kennedy knows all? Do you think she could tell you the difference between an AT-AT and an ATST? No, she can't. But it's not really her job. Her job was to hire people that could. So I don't blame Kathleen Kennedy for that, but I do blame her for hiring the wrong people, at least at the wrong time. And they seem to be really going after a whole new audience. This was, they thought, I can understand people saying, hey, the Star Trek fan base was dying out. So Abrams rebooted it to bring new life into it, but you didn't need that with Star Wars. Star Trek in its heyday was in the 60s. Then in the 90s, you had the Next Generation. So yes, fans were getting older and dying out. Star Wars never went through that problem. Sure, we had a dead period in the early 90s, but then we had a special edition in the prequels. But I think Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, someone up there saw the success of something like Hunger Games. A female lead brings in not only these girl fans, but it also brought in a lot of men, boys. You can get all the demographics into one. Now, I'm not saying girls don't like Star Wars. Girls love Star Wars. Just no girl I ever met. But girls love Star Wars. So that's what I was told. But they didn't want the Star Wars geek girls. The Star Wars girls. They wanted the 15, 16-year-olds that saw the Hunger Games. They wanted them and their friends to be into Star Wars. And again, I don't blame them for that. Making Rey a female in the new movies, to me, was the right way to go. It's probably the only way to go. We saw Anakin. We saw Luke, 2 men. It was time to see a girl. It was a nice little change-up. So I have no problem at all with Rey being female. So don't call me sexist in the comments, because I love Rey. I don't think she's I don't know. She might be a Mary Sue, but you know what? I've never seen a movie about a Mary Sue. Let me see a movie about Mary Sue. If you want to tell me a story about Mary Sue, make it entertaining and I'll watch it. I don't care about a hero's journey crap. That's what Marvel does in 22 movies in a row. I want to see the movie. She's a Mary Sue. Okay. It's a movie about a Mary Sue. Although that's a stupid term and I hate saying it, that 90% of the people that use it never even heard of it until they saw somebody on YouTube saying she was a Mary Sue. Oh, I'm rambling. What was I saying? So I think Disney and them said, hey, let's restart this Star Wars stuff. Tell a new story. Get all these other groups hooked. And you did it, Disney. You did it. You got new fans to come out and watch Star Wars. Now you got your Reylos making threats on Twitter to J.J. Abrams. I don't even know why. And then you got a whole group of people mad at John Boyega, whatever his damn name is. You got a lot of people upset at him now, and I can't even figure out why. Apparently, they said he made fun of people that like Reylo. I just hate saying Reylo. No one over 14 should ever say the word Reylo. What's your ship name? I don't know. I'm not a teenage girl. This is what the Star Wars fan base had turned into. Reylos and Phantom Menaces. Oh. What happened to you guys? Again, 90% of you are pretty cool. And I'll enjoy making videos with you and talking Star Wars with 90% of you. But there's so many a-holes out there on both sides of the fence. I have been called names from the Phantom Menace. I've been called names from the Reylos, the Social Justice Warriors. I don't care how many times I say I like the new movies. Someone from the Phantom Menace will say it. That I'm a shield. I'm being paid by Disney. Or, you're just a fanboy. Oh, the Phantom Menace loves to use that one. Fanboy. Like you said, the insult. Damn right I'm a fanboy, and look at this. I'm a fanboy, and I'm happy to be one. But that doesn't mean I just like a movie. I don't like the Clone Wars. I didn't even like Rebels, although I only seen one season. I don't even like Rogue One that much, and half of the Phantom Menace think it's the greatest thing ever made since the prequels anyway. So I found the characters very boring, and I didn't even care nothing about them. I wasn't invested in their mission or anything. When they died, I was like, so what? And it does end with a great battle and a Darth Vader scene. Even most of the people that like the movie, I ask them, why do you like Rogue One so much? Darth Vader has a lightsaber fight, and there's a cool battle at the end. Okay. A great 30 minutes to the end of a 2.5 hour movie doesn't make a movie great. Now, I do like Rogue One. I just don't love it. It's the only Star Wars movie I saw 3 times and thought, hey, I'm done with it. I don't need to see this anymore, at least not anytime soon at all. So, yeah, the Phantom Menace is going to call me a shield or call me a fanboy like it's bad. Or a troll like it's bad. And I do troll. I'm not going to lie to you. I do troll. I love it. So, yeah. But just because I have a different opinion doesn't mean I'm a troll. And then you get the Reylos. I've already talked about this, but then they'll call me sexist because I say I don't like Haldo. Or they'll call me racist because I don't know. I can't keep up. But why is everybody so angry? Like I said, 90% of you are great. You're like, oh man, Junkman, you like that movie? It didn't work for me, man. I'm sorry about it. Oh man, I wish it did. That's 90% of you right there. Or it's, hey, I like the movie, it didn't work or something. That's 90% of you guys out there. But that 10%, Phantom Menace, Reylos, whatever you want to call them, that 10% are assholes. And believe me, and I've been told by many of them that I'm sexist, that I'm racist, that I'm a troll. I already talked about all that. Why am I still talking about that? Where's my... I don't even have no notes. I was going to make notes and didn't. So I don't know where I'm going from here. This video's turned out to be a lot longer than I thought. Almost out. Overall, I'm let down. Yes, I love the new movie. Well, I like the new movies. I love the Phantom Menace. And I like the other ones. And the thing is, even if I like The Last Jedi as a theater, I can't bring myself to watch it too much. If I do, I end up zooming past those casino stuff. And the new movie I like, but I'm not going to be honest with you. I can sit here and nitpick it to death. When you guys on Twitter say you like it, well, explain this, explain that. How did this happen? What did this happen over here? I go, you're right. It's stupid. I don't make any sense. But you know what it did do? It entertained me for 2.5 hours or whatever the runtime is, and that's all I needed. I love Star Wars. That's obvious. But these aren't my Star Wars movies. And I can like them for what they are. My Star Wars movies are the original trilogy. You guys know that's 90% of when I talk Star Wars, I talk about the original trilogy. The prequels, I have a fond memory of the prequels, don't get me wrong. I've grown to really enjoy them a lot more than I did when they were first released. But these new movies, I'm sure 10 years from now I'll see them a lot different than I do now. And it's not that I don't like them. I said I like them. My problem is that, God, Disney, Lucasfilm, you could have done so much better. And that's the real thing that just gets me, is that it was so easy to do. Now, it's not easy to make a good movie. Don't get me wrong. What? Most of the movies out there are crap. So I get that. You can't make a good movie just like that. But you can plan it. You can try. That's my biggest problem. That's where you lost me, is when I went to see Rise of Skywalker, and all these years I've been screaming on Twitter, watch at the end. You'll see they had a plan. I thought, stupid me, right? I thought, okay, they didn't have a roadmap. Oh, they had, okay, we want to start here. We're going to end here. Rian Johnson, you do your little middle thing here, get us there, and then we'll get there in the next movie, set us up. But no, it was, let's make the Force Awakens. I don't know what we're going to do. We're hiring an independent director here to make a movie, and he'll make an art housey type Star Wars movie, and it'll piss everybody off, and we'll love it. We'll give him 3 more movies. And then what do we do? Oh my God, he killed everybody in the movie. We don't have no other thing to do in the third one. What do we do now? Oh, reach into my bag and pull out my fan service and bring back Palpatine. All you had to do is first hire somebody that loved Star Wars to oversee all 3 films. I'm not a Kennedy to be fired. I think Kennedy needs to run Lucas, and they need another Star Wars head. Lucasfilm isn't just Star Wars. But anyway, just hire somebody. Don't beg somebody to come work for you. Don't throw more money at them because Spielberg tells you to hire them. Get somebody that knows and loves Star Wars, like Favreau, I think, and let them at least work on a story, even if they weren't going to direct it. Have somebody come in. You didn't have to set up all 3. Just say, hey, this is what we got planned for the first one, and this is how we want to end it. I mean, you can look at The Rise of Skywalker. If you took that movie, or the concept of that movie, and made it into the new trilogy, it would have been pretty cool. You could start off with, hey, we're getting this message from out here in deep space. There's a Sith out there. Something's going on. They're trying to investigate who it is and everything. And maybe even as the audience, we don't know it's Palpatine until maybe the end of episode 1 or sometime in episode 2. Or not 2, you know what I mean, the second one. And then in the third one, they track down in and have to face him off. So it was just such a letdown when I heard Disney was buying it. And yes, there's some of you out there, very few of you out there, that got so upset when Disney bought Star Wars that you wasn't gonna like it no matter what they did. And then there's another few out of those few that when they killed the EU, they wasn't going to like it because they killed the EU. So you lost those fans before you even made the movie. But those fans, I would say, was 1%, maybe less, 2% at the most. And I understand Disney wanted to bring in new fans. I mean, the average movie-going audience is, what, late teens, early 20s, maybe 14 to 30, let's just say that. So they wanted to bring those in. And I can understand bringing in new fans, but you had to make it for us also. Or at least just give us a story. That's my biggest problem. There's no story. They don't feel like episodes. And again, maybe I'll feel differently. But I don't know why I'm ranting. I just wanted to close the book on the new Star Wars trilogy. The new movie's out. And I'm sure I'll tweet some more, but I'm going to decide to try. I'm going to try my best to leave the Phantom Menace alone. It was so fun to troll. Oh, I'll take it to heart. I get so upset sometimes. I'll make a stupid tweet on purpose and I just sit back and laugh at it. So, I get that. But the other side is so angry, I don't mess with them as much. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm ranting. I just wanted to close the book on here. I'm going to try, like I said, to maybe not troll so much the Phantom Menace guys. Most of you are all pretty cool guys, except for that Jeremy asshole. But over that, most of you are all pretty cool. Like I said, there's a lot of you on Twitter that I interact with more so than the other side, which I don't even know what the other side is. You got your Reylo, you got Social Justice Warrior, you got people like me that like the movie. I don't really see it as a group. That's another thing I really hate. I don't like the Phantom Menace because I don't like a group. I don't like being part of a group. I don't like the whole group, like, ooh, this is our group, the Phantom Menace. We are this. I don't like tribes. I don't like that. And what I really don't like, well, I'll tell you right now what I really don't like, and God, this video is going to be about an hour long. What I really don't like is people that take themselves too seriously. Jeremy, excuse me. This is going to be I don't like people that take themselves too serious. If you can't laugh at yourself, if you can't laugh at others, but more importantly, if you can't laugh at yourself, then I ain't got nothing to do with you. If me putting a tweet out there upsets you, if words on a social media app hurt your feelings, then hey, go away. Block me. If you post something on Facebook, even, I don't care how minor it is, and I'll reply back with something stupid or something, and I'm not saying I don't attack people. I don't call them fanboys like I've been called, or shields, or racist. Well, if you put something on Facebook and I reply to it, don't get all upset. You put it out there for people to read and expect people to reply to it with their opinion on it. Oh, you're toxic. You don't like exactly what I like in the same exact way that I like it. That's my biggest letdown with this whole new saga is the fans. I can be let down at Disney that they didn't make the movie I hoped they would make, even if I did like it. Which maybe some will say I'm just in denial that I don't want to admit they're not good. Anytime I get to go to a theater and see a Star Wars movie, it's a good day in my book. Unless it's that Clone Wars movie. You know, the cartoon movie. And I know that was supposed to be an episode on TV, but they edited it into a movie. I know all that. But I hate it. God, I hate it. I lost my train of thought again. Yeah, see, I can see Disney screwing up. That doesn't bother me. Okay, they didn't do the movie I liked. I mean, they did a movie I liked, but they didn't do what I hoped or as good as I hoped. So, okay, Disney, what's next? What you got for me next? Saga's over. Show me what you got next. Maybe this time it'll be something I'll love. I like these. Maybe I'll love what you do next. No problem with that. But it's the fan base that hurts me on a personal level. I'll make a video here about toys. I'll make, a video about a toy line that has nothing to do with Star Wars. I'll do a video line like a Mego Dallas action figure line. And I'll get a comment. That's a bad line. Not as bad as the new Star Wars movies. Oh. Okay, we get it. You don't like Star Wars. You have to tell me in every comment all the time that you don't like them. And I don't see that from the other side. I don't do a video about a toy line that has nothing to do with Star Wars and somebody says, oh, that toy line sucks, but I love the new Star Wars movies. It's like they just like the jacket. They just like if they don't like the Star Wars movie, they'll like stick that knife in it and turn it. Okay, we get it. You don't like the movies, so what? A lot of people don't like them. Yay, good, get over it. I don't mean get over not liking. I can understand people being upset and angry about it. But you don't have to tell me in every video I make. But now, I complain about it, more people's going to do it, right? That's the internet for you. And I understand, they're just getting my goat. Getting my goat. And I do the same thing, I guess. I see someone talking about Rogue One, and I was like, I don't get why everybody loves it so much. I don't understand. It's good, but people just act like it's, somebody told me it was better than Empire Strikes Back. Woo! Come on now. Better than Empire Strikes Back. You don't get better than Empire Strikes Back. So, that's what hurts me the most in all this is the fans. The prequels, some of us loved them, some of us liked it, some of us hated. But we never hated each other for it. I never saw someone being called racist or sexist because they liked or didn't like the prequels. Never really saw someone being called a shield or because they liked or doesn't count. But I never heard no one called a shield because they liked the prequel. I hate that term. Like Disney's cutting out checks for people to go on Twitter and say they like a movie. Come on, get over yourself. They're not paying people. They're not paying people to go see movies. They're not buying tickets. So it looks like, oh. But that's what hurts me the most is the fan base. The community that I grew up with in the 80s and the 90s. Sure, we're a lot smaller, harder to communicate with each other during the original. I mean, all the debates happened on the playground at school. Or, if we got a little older, maybe behind the school, sneaking a cigarette break. And even then, we had just some agreements about the Ewoks. Things done in Star Wars, things they should have done, things they didn't do. But again, it was just friendly debate. If I told my friend Bob Sacamano that I didn't like the Tauntaun, he didn't hit me upside the head with a brick or call me a racist sexist because I didn't like a Tauntaun or call me a shield or a fanboy. Fanboy was a term of endearment. We wanted to be called a fanboy. We were fanboys. And yes, people like the jocks at school or the people that thought they were above the sci-fi movies and stuff like that, the comic book crowd, they called us fanboys as an insult. But now who's calling us fanboys as an insult? Other fans. That's what screwed up. Other fans are doing it. The Phantom Menace, which I don't get that name. Why would you name your clubhouse after the worst Star Wars movie made, the live action movie? Wouldn't it better be called The Phantom Strikes Back? Why don't you say that? The Phantom Strikes Back, or Revenge of the Phantom. Can't talk. Sorry. But I don't know where I'm going with this video. I can't believe it's been this long, and now it's been 52 minutes. I'm just trying to hit that hour mark. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this whole video. Maybe I should have done it in 2 parts. But that's what gets me the most is the Phantom. The fans calling me a fanboy because I like Star Wars. Getting called that by people that's not into comics and Star Wars and all that doesn't bother me. But to see my own kind, my own group, well, I hate being part of a group, but you know what I mean. To see my own community use that term as an insult. And yeah, I've seen it a lot. You're just a fanboy. Yeah, I'm a fanboy. But they're a fanboy too. Or they wouldn't be making daily videos of how upset they are about the new Star Wars movies. So please don't. So I don't know why you would use fanboys as negative, as an insult. And it's not just the Phantom Menace. Again, I don't want to feel like I'm harping on them, but because they named their group, that they're easy to target. Because I can say the Phantom Menace, and I can loop them all in a group because they loop themselves in a group. Reylos, I've never seen a Reylo. If it wasn't for the Phantom Menace upset about the Reylos, I wouldn't even know what a Reylo was. I don't even like saying it. It's stupid. I don't see it on Twitter. Never see it on Twitter. I don't know. I don't see all this social justice stuff. Because I don't follow that kind of account. I guess I wouldn't know. I didn't even know the term Reylo. I was talking to maybe Ichibaka or some of the Phantom Menace guys. And I was like, what are you talking about? I think it was actually the Geek Gamer kid, Jeremy, that I think he was tweeting long time ago about it. And I was like, what are you talking about? It sounds like baby talk. Reylo. And I think he got mad at me because I didn't know the term. I told him that was stupid. Only preteen girls say ships or whatever he called it. So he got all upset with me out there because Jeremy can't take jokes. No, if you don't kiss Jeremy's ass or if you don't change your Twitter handle to something with Jeremy in it. Have you seen that cult? There's people on Twitter that change their name that has Jeremy in it because they want attention from him. It's creepy. It's like a whole cult of the Geek the Gamer kid. And if you watch my videos, I did a video about Geek the Gamer Kid long before he was a big hit in the Phantom Menace, when he did a video all wrong about the Star Wars toys not selling, which they aren't selling, but you can watch that video. I'm not going to get into all that here. And I like him. We talked on Twitter, and I thought we were friendly, but again, he's up there on that, hey, you got to kiss this. And I'm not going to kiss anybody's ass. So, at the end of the day, like I said, I can understand Lucasfilm doing what they did. Screwed up. They didn't make what they could have made. They could have got every goal they wanted of bringing in the new crowd. The new diverse crowd, as they call it. But I think it's already diverse as it is. But they could have brought that in simple. And still gave us at least a story all connected. Or, like Lucas said, even if not connected, make us think it was all planned along. After seeing Rise of Skywalker, there's no way they will ever convince me that that was their plan. Now they can say, yeah, we had a plan, or we thought to bring Palpatine back. Doubt it, but okay. You know, maybe that it came up in conversation probably. I can see that. Then they tried to please everyone. And when you try to please everyone, you mostly please nobody, or you upset more people. Got to put your Reylo kiss in there to make them happy. You got to explain that Rey is related to Palpatine, although it makes no sense to make the Phantom Menace not call her a Mary Sue. Just make the movie. Don't worry what the fans are saying. Make it. It tanks. Move on to the next one. This is the longest I've ever talked. My throat is killing me. I feel like Alpha and I ate one of the cats. Now I'm just trying to string this video along so I can hit 1 hour. Can't believe I'm going to talk for an hour. But I needed to say this. I needed to close the book on the Star Wars saga or the new Star Wars trilogy. And that's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I'll still talk about it here and there, but I'm trying my best not to troll the Phantom Menace. Ooh, you're so fun. You guys are so fun. Ichibaka, you know what I mean. Me and Ichibaka, man, we go into it. We have some good rants on there. But anyway, I just can't believe the fan base. That's what hurts me the most out of all this. It was one thing when I didn't like the prequels, which I always liked the prequels. I never was a prequel basher. I saw people, George Lucas raped my childhood. George Lucas made your childhood. He didn't rape your childhood or ruin your childhood. He made your childhood, or at least he made my childhood. I don't know about you, but... And again, let me say it again, because I'm sure someone's going to leave in the comments and say that I didn't say this, or say I'm talking about everybody, but 90% of you guys are cool. Even if you don't like the movie, you're like, hey, I didn't like it. It sucked. It's horrible. And you move on. You're okay. You don't call me a fanboy like it's a bad thing or a shield. Get all angry about it. And most of you that do like the movie, when I say bad things that I didn't like in it, you don't attack me for it and call me names for it either. So 90%, maybe more than that, are pretty cool. But it's that 10%, the Phantom Menace, the Reylos. I said all that, but you know what I mean. It's that group right there. It's making it very hard to be a Star Wars fan or be around other Star Wars fans. I can't imagine going to somewhere like Star Wars Celebration now. What if you were a new fan of Star Wars and the new movies are your original trilogy, what you're growing up on? You go to the Star Wars convention, you're going to get called a shield and a fanboy. And then who knows, if you didn't like them and everybody else in the group did like them, they're going to call you racist and sexist because you didn't like a movie. How can you be racist and sexist for not liking a movie? I don't know. But I'm closing the book. Boom! That book is closed. Right there. Like I said, I'm stretching it out for a minute. You can see we're at 59:21, so I'm stretching this video out. This video was going to be more funny with me, like I did a drinking video when I did the He-Man, and I was all drunk and everything, talking to my little puppets and everything. And that's what this video started out like. And then I just started rambling, and I didn't even do the whole drunk character. I just drank my T. Camera secret right there. This is not a moon. Okay, now you know I'm just trying. Thank you for watching. Thumb up my video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll be back very soon to talk about Star Wars, pop culture, and more.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.